What's up, y'all? This is Luke with the Lukewarm Take, episode 2, and let's just get right straight into it. I want to open up with LeBron complaining about refereeing with the Lakers. I don't want to sound like a hater, but um, let's just stop it. Um, y'all get every call, and the reason why y'all might not be going to the line is because y'all suck. This is the least this is one of the worst LeBron teams I've seen in my lifetime. I don't really care about those Cavs teams early. Um, I mean, besides Anthony Davis, you have the third best player being Austin Reeves. When you look at those Cavs teams back in 2016, not 2016, 20 when Kyrie left 2018, you still had no J.R. Smith. He was playing better than Austin Reeves. And who else on those teams? I can't even remember. Kevin Love. Kevin Love's better than Austin Reeves or D'Angelo Russell. He's a French Hall of Famer. And I think the reason why you're not going to the line is because you suck. And if you look at the top teams, they all get to the line. Even though I despise the Thunder, sorry, my printer went off. They excel, SGA especially, just to get to the line. It doesn't matter if they're foul baiting, which the Lakers do. Every time I've watched the Lakers this year, they get every single call, no matter if it's a bogus call where it's just a little wrist check. It's just an abundance of riches, I bet you. Well, this game was not on live TV or national TV. I bet you they have a game this week against the Nuggets. I think it's on Friday. I bet you they'll go to the line 30 times. I'm telling you right now. And they're going to shoot maybe 60% because you don't have shooters. I mean, you have D'Angelo. You're the worst three-point team in the league. And your only shooters are LeBron and D'Angelo Russell, which LeBron's really not a shooter. He can do everything, but he's not a prime shooter. He's your point guard. And then you have Austin Reeves. And your players just don't know how to do their roles. And I just don't want to hear you complain because look at the in-season tournament against my New Orleans Pelicans. You guys went to the line at a significant rate off of bogus little wrist checks. Y'all got into the bonus every single quarter, 3 minutes in. And I just don't want to hear it just because I'm also a hater. But getting out of that, talking about my New Orleans Pelicans also. There was a bit of a brawl on Friday between the Miami Heat, and it also spans from getting no calls. The Pelicans lead the league in missed calls in crunch time, and they're tired of it. And Zion got almost tackled by Kevin Love. If you watch the tape back, and it wasn't Kevin Love's fault. I'm not blaming them, but it was very violent. And Najee Marshall retaliated. He just wanted to let everybody know, we're tired of this. And sorry. And he just got into Kevin Love's face, and then Jimmy Butler got into it. I didn't think they did anything wrong. I'm gonna be real. Najee and Jimmy Butler, they got suspended for one game, but Jose Alvarado and Thomas Bryant, they were throwing punches, so of course they should be suspended. But 3 games when Isaiah Stewart literally got arrested for assault, and he gets 3 games. What are you doing, NBA? You have a problem with justice. Your players have been getting in more trouble now than the NFL. And that's a problem because the NFL is notorious for suspensions with domestic violence. But your players are getting into fights on the court and you're not punishing them the correct way. Isaiah Stewart should be a 15-game ban. Like, literally, he blindsided the dude, like, coming back from the locker room. Like, what are you doing? And there should be, like, a concrete, like, automatic stuff for this. Like, oh, you're going to get 10 games off. No pay. Because, you assaulted a dude at a court, on a court. Like when it happened to Ron Artest, he got banned for the year. But he also got into stands, but I don't really want to get into that. But I don't believe that Jimmy Butler or Najee Marshall should have gotten suspended. And this has ended up going to hurt Pelicans because they played without a point guard last night, Sunday night, against the Bulls. You had Zion ran point guard basically the entire game, and then Herb Jones. And I don't remember how many times they turned the ball over, but they turned the ball over in the first quarter 10 times. I remember that stat because you don't have a ball handler. But it's also part of Willie Green's fault for not like game planning it correctly. I believe Herb Jones should have carried the ball the entire game. He could have played every single minute of that game. He was not getting tired. But I like the game plan of just feeding it to Zion. And he had double-digit assists off of being triple-teamed and then into a corner to Matt Ryan. That was great by him. I think that was one of his more complete performances this year. Same thing against Miami. Those were great performances. And with the hate that he's been getting from like Stephen A. Smith, he's clearly not watching the games because when Zion's doing good, you don't hear anything because it's a small market team. He doesn't want to be in New Orleans. Everybody knows that. And Stephen A. Smith saying that Zion is still not performing at a level where he dropped 30 or 28 on Friday. And Stephen A. he still claims that he's out of shape. The reason why he doesn't play very many minutes is because of the minute restriction by the coaches. And he doesn't he only plays 30 minutes a game or 25 minutes a game. And he's still putting up 22 points a game and getting 3 or 4 assists a game with 6 rebounds. It's pretty great numbers. But Stephen A. Smith, if he was on the New York Knicks, Stephen A. Smith would think he's the next Messiah. I'm just saying it right now. I'm tired of Stephen A. Smith's takes like that. He doesn't want New Orleans to have a basketball team anymore. I mean, if you remember Perkins, he was last year, or 2 years ago, he was telling New Orleans to move. And it could be in the table soon, but they have been in the sold out crowds the past 2 weeks, and you just can't deny that this city is passionate about that team. And they'll finally be on another national broadcast because they flexed the Indiana Pacers versus New Orleans Pelicans in Indiana, which that should be an incredible game. Just 2 fast-paced offenses like the Indiana Pacers and New Orleans Pelicans. There's not going to be much defense, which is going to be 130, 125 type game. I'm predicting that right now. But also, I predicted that one of the free agents of the MLB, I predicted that right with Cody Bellinger. 3 years, $80 million. I know that's not what Bellinger wanted, obviously, because Boris is an awful agent. But I did predict that he was going to the Chicago Cubs. So I think I might be getting great knowledge. But also, it was a dry weekend of sports. Don't get me wrong, but the WWE had a pay-per-view this past weekend with the Elimination Chamber. And it was the most predictable show ever. It had to be. I mean, you're 40 days away from WrestleMania. It can't be having your top guys losing, like Drew McIntyre, which he was always going to win, to face Seth Rollins. And you can't have Rhea Ripley lose in her home country to Nia Jax. And then everybody knew that Rhea Ripley was going to face Becky Lynch at WrestleMania. So, like, and you're not going to have the Judgment Day lose to some jobbers at their tag team championships. So, like, it was the most predictable pay-per-view in a while. I didn't think they would swerve. Like, at first I thought they might swerve the men's chamber match to have LA Knight win. And then AJ Styles came in and interfered, which I don't really like the interferences in the Elimination Chamber. They did it last year with Logan Paul and Seth Rollins, but they did it again with LA Knight and AJ Styles. And that's obviously going to be a match at WrestleMania. You know, most people were predicting that LA Knight would go against Logan Paul, which that could still happen. But I think they might swerve like Logan Paul to face like Montez Ford because they're trying to promote that TV show. And like Logan Paul versus Montez Ford will be a great match. It's two like high flyers, frog splashes everywhere. It's going to be a fun match if that happens. Or it could just be Kevin Owens again, which that would be an incredible match too. And you could give Logan Paul the marquee win at WrestleMania because he hasn't won. I mean, he won that tag team match with The Miz, but then he lost to Seth Rollins with that, like with the KSI or Deji, like in the Prime Bot or whatever. That was whatever that was last year. That was still a great match. And Logan Paul's still performing. He got speared through freaking the pod by Bobby Lashley, and it looked like he died. It was awesome. And then he costed Randy Orton the match with the brass knuckles. So they could swerve, low-key, they could swerve to Randy Orton. That would be an awesome match. And then Logan Paul gets RKO'd. I mean, that'd be fun. And then Randy Orton puts over like a Braun Breaker or something on SmackDown. That could be something that they could do. But other than that, it was a good show, still predictable, but not much you complain about. They had Cody Rhodes, of course, with a whoa, and the pyro. Some of the best pyro I've seen, with like the pyro coming out of the stadium, like on the river or whatever. That was a beautiful setup from that stadium. I kind of want to like go to Australia now just to see that stadium in Perth. I mean, it was incredible. We're going to talk about now the weekend sports. This is the preview of this week. It's another week of sports. Some of the NBA games that I have note. Dallas and Cleveland, that's not going to be on a primetime schedule. That's tonight, Monday night. That should be an incredible game. Two of the top guards with Luka and Donovan Mitchell. And then you have on ESPN on Wednesday, Indy and New Orleans. And then they play another time this week on Friday. So you get that twice this week. Those both should be great games. And then you have Oklahoma City Thunder and the Phoenix Suns. And that's on primetime too on Friday, I believe. You have SGA versus going against Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. That should be a great showcase of like what the Oklahoma City Thunder can do, because I don't remember the last like big win they've had against against top veterans like Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And that's like their entire like misdemeanor is like, are they going to be able to go against these more experienced teams in the playoffs? And then in college basketball, you got BYU and Kansas, two top 25 ranked teams. Auburn and Tennessee, another SEC matchup with two ranked teams. Arizona and Arizona State, number 4 ranked Arizona Wildcats, going against the in-state rival Sun Devils. Arizona State's 14-14, but I think that's the trap game of the week in college basketball. It's in Arizona State, so potential court storming. Alabama and Tennessee, another 2 top 25 teams, and then Baylor and Kansas Saturday. That is going to be a great matchup. I think it'll be like a 2-score game, 1-score game type deal. And then also Saturday, starting at 12:30, we got a UFC fight night with Jarheziyo Rozenstruik versus the undefeated Shamil Ghaziayev. This is an underrated card. I haven't heard very many people talking about it, like on Twitter and stuff. But you have Raul Rojas Jr. and Ricky Tercios, which they were supposed to fight last week, but that fight got canceled due to an injury. That's going to be a banger. They've got a bunch of undefeated guys. Let me look at the card. I forgot to look exactly at it. Let me look at it on my phone, actually. Sorry for the awkward silence. UFC. So you got Vitor Petrino versus Tyson Pedro. Vitor, undefeated fighter. Muhammad Mokaev versus Alex Perez. That's a great fight. Flyweights. It's going to be fast paced. Jamie Pickett versus Eric Anders. And Umar Nurmagomedov versus Bezkat Al-Makin. Umar, they're going to be pushing him to the moon very soon. And, Raul Rojas Jr. versus Ricky Tercios. That's the opening fight of the main card. That starts at 2 p.m. And I think that fight's going to bang. But now it's time to get into my picks of the week for tonight and on Tuesday. I forgot to write them down, so let me look at the picks. But I'm going to go with tonight. Let's go with the Brooklyn Nets covering -1.5. And then the Sacramento Kings covering -7 for tonight. That'd be a sneaky parlay. And then tomorrow we're going to go with the outright of the let's just go with the OKC Thunder. Where's the odds? They're not showing the odds. I did not plan this right. Oh my gosh. But I'll just go outright Oklahoma City Thunder for Tuesday. It's a dry week of sports for the first 2 days. But that's all fine. We got Monday Night Raw tonight. Gonna be excited to watch that tonight. See like what's being set up. Maybe there could be a WrestleMania announcement. Maybe a potentially Rock appearance. Good stuff like that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching and listening wherever you are on YouTube or Spotify. And leave more feedback in the comments. Might be setting up a special episode for Wednesday. But other than that, leave comments, feedback, and I will see you guys on Wednesday. God bless.